The committee meets today to hear testimony on the deployment of National Guardsmen domestically to assist with immigration enforcement and to help restore law and order in our cities. I welcome three witnesses today. We are joined by Mr. Charles Young, the Principal Deputy General Counsel for the Department of Defense. We have Mr. Roosevelt Ditlevson, the Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Homeland Defense and America's Security Affairs. And we will hear from General Gregory M. Gio, Commander of the United States Northern Command. In recent years, violent crime, rioting, drug trafficking, and heinous gang activity have steadily escalated. The Department of Justice's Bureau of Justice Statistics has released data on these trends. According to the Bureau's National Crime Victimization Survey, the rate of violent crime in urban areas increased by 61% from 2019 to 2024, 61%. Last year, the rate of violent crime in urban areas was 46% higher than the national rate, and it was 104% higher than the rural rate. These statistics are clear. Public safety is at risk in our cities, and we are in need of well-supported and effective law enforcement. This situation was made all the worse during the Biden administration. We saw widespread efforts by Democrats to defund the police. These moves constricted law enforcement effectiveness across the nation. For one example, consider Seattle in 2020. Hundreds of violent protesters took over several downtown blocks. They declared it a police-free zone and demanded that the police budget be cut in half. And apparently it did become a police-free zone. In the absence of all police presence, violence, open drug usage, and shootings escalated. All the while, the city's elected officials did little to stop the chaos. This is but one example of what happens without sufficient law and order. Now, I would be remiss at this time if I did not recognize that in trying to restore that law and order, there are costs. In particular, I'm reminded of the two West Virginia National Guard members who were shot in this city just before the Thanksgiving holiday. Today, we remember Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, who lost her life, and we grieve with her loved ones. Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf remains hospitalized, but is showing signs of progress, and we likewise pray for his swift recovery. The public sees these examples of crime in their communities, and they expect more from their government. They demand and deserve action. For this reason, President Trump ordered an immediate and coordinated response by deploying the National Guard to some of our nation's most dangerous cities. These strategic deployments are not only appropriate but essential. Current crime rates in our largest cities have become a substantial burden on local and federal law enforcement agencies. Increasingly, these agencies are unable to keep our communities safe. They are underfunded and stretched thin, unable to reinstitute law and order on their own. The Guard is uniquely suited to assist with the fight against crime. It can provide manpower, resources, and specialized expertise that local police departments may lack. Additionally, National Guard units are trained for rapid deployment. They're versatile, able to handle large-scale public safety operations and provide immediate relief to communities in need. In fact, the National Guard has a strong history of assisting in domestic law enforcement during times of national crisis. Their expertise in crowd control, search and rescue operations, and logistical support makes them well-suited for urban environments struggling with crime-related violence. Not surprisingly, Democratic governors and left-wing pundits have decried these deployments. They've raised concerns about violations of the Posse Comitatus Act, which prohibits the use of military for domestic policing, except in specific circumstances. Others have said these deployments waste money and reduce troop readiness. These concerns are both manufactured and misguided, in my judgment. Mobilizing the Guard is an excellent opportunity for units to enhance cohesion, complete mission essential tasks, and ensure training is complete. Moreover, Guardsmen operate with the highest degree of professionalism. They serve purely in support roles, never crossing the line into law enforcement functions. They are limited to protecting federal employees and federal buildings, providing logistics and communications to law enforcement operations, and most importantly, to providing a visible security presence, which supports law enforcement and deters crime. Furthermore, all National Guardsmen serving in our cities operate under the standing rules of the use of force. These rules prohibit the use of force except in instances of self-defense. All Guardsmen receive extensive training on these rules. I'm confident in their ability to operate within them. I'm proud of the Guardsmen serving in our nation's capital and in cities throughout America. I thank them for their service and sacrifice and for their commitment to restoring law and order. Every day, they help Americans feel safe in their communities. With that, I turn to my colleague, Senator Duckworth. And Senator Duckworth, I hope your voice is in better shape than mine this morning.